Just wait.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to our live podcast. I'm Angela. Beside me over here, of course, the lovely hubby.
Mike Ruch. Mike Ruch's here.
And our special guest.
They saved the best for last.
Special guest of the night, my twin sister, Amber. Welcome.
Live from the penthouse. Yes.
How are you feeling?
I feel great. I feel amazing. I'm glad to be here, finally.
Are you nervous?
Nervous now. I know that word means, actually.
For me, this is a special treat because typically, for any man dating a twin, I get a lot of questions about the twins. So I'm looking forward to get the twins' perspective on everything.
That's right. Mike told me tonight before we came on, guys, that he was going to be running this podcast with all the questions.
So we're getting all the questions from you, huh?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's not the questions that the fans want to know; it's the questions that I want to know. I mean, these are things that keep me up at night. These are things that keep me up during the day.
And let's not forget, babe, we do have Jason. It should be good.
Is Jason over there?
As well.
What's up, Jay?
I'm here. How's everybody doing?
Jason, how goes it?
You're supposed to be in our house here filming tonight, but we missed you.
Yeah, thanks. Amber, it's good to see you. It's been a little while.
Hey, stranger. How you been?
I'm good. How are you?
Whacking me. I'd be better if she took off his hat.
Let's go for a different look tonight, guys.
Yeah.
Come on.
Clearly.
So, Jason, I thought today, we're going to lose Angela 30 minutes in because she's got to practice for her race tonight.
I do have a sim race I'm doing tonight live at Kansas.
I hope you've been practicing.
I have been practicing. I felt good. I got in a run last night with 5 guys. Josh Reum, my team owner, was one of them who kind of set it all up. So I'm super pumped, ready. I feel like I ran some good. So we'll see. Obviously, 4 cars, trucks, very really good.
Amber, do you feel like you can come off the street, off the couch, and beat your sister right now?
100%. And the good thing is my man and I just bought a simulator ourselves, so we're ready.
Whoa.
Yeah, we ordered it up yesterday. John, I ordered it. Yes, we did yesterday.
Wow, so sibling rivalry.
But probably a little bit better.
Oh, sis says it's better.
Well, NASCAR is back. They just announced NASCAR is back, so maybe Amber is going to go racing the trucks with you too.
Exactly. But yeah, I'm ready.
That's what's so
I'm
exciting.
gonna prepare myself, right?
You should. So May 26th. The word on the street today is May 26th at Charlotte Motor Speedway.
Mm-hmm.
The trucks are going back to racing.
About time.
Yeah, but the cups is going back on the 16th, right?
Yeah, the week before is Cup, then the trucks, and then but no fans. So we're gonna have to go out there. Does the husband get to go?
No, you're out too.
Oh, I keep blocking
my
my
God,
hat.
you have to move your hat.
This hat is taking up a lot of room in here in this small.
Well, there was an argument between
Mike needs to step up his game.
Yeah.
Well, I can move over. Look at live for the podcast. You're doing the question. You guys are amazing. Of course we are, Sarah.
Thank you, Sarah. How are you
so
doing, Sarah?
I listed a couple questions for the girls. I'm just curious. These are I got.
I feel like I'm in the hot seat.
Hold on. These aren't these are
I
my
Like
questions.
Mike has like 2 notes
between here. So
No, I got several notes. I got notes for you and I, and that for the therapist tomorrow. But those are for tomorrow.
We're gonna save those for tomorrow.
But for tonight, I'm going to ask you. My first question is. No, we're about to be. No, Amber. We're about to be neighbors, and we're gonna live a half a mile from each other. I mean, are you girls excited about that?
Yes, I don't think it's really quite hit us yet, has it? No, I'm really trying not to get my hopes up because I feel like it's gonna, I don't know. I mean, I think we haven't lived this close.
I was trying to think about it. Like, how long? We haven't really years. I feel we're gonna be living together when we're next door neighbors. I feel like so we're next door neighbors.
Well, John, everyone says because John's like, Amber, my concern is that I'm never gonna see you, and I'm like, John, no, it'll be fine, and I'm sure Mike's concern is the same, right?
No. John and I talked about it.
It is the same.
Well, we're gonna have a set of rules that if my wife's not home, I'm just gonna text wife's not home, and he's gonna text me wife's not home. So then we're gonna be like, where the hell the wives? You know what I mean? But we're not going to use this whole you're over at their house and she's over at this house. We're going to sniff that out. Like him and I've already come up with a plan.
Well, I think the good thing is that we're both going to live at each other's houses. So
exactly.
We're going to come over in the morning for your coffee at like 5 a.m. You come to my house and we're going to,
it's how far is the run? You run every
I run from my house, which I'm like the first right? So it's about from there to the bakery. It's about 3.5 miles. There and back running.
Wow.
So, and I can book it in probably less than 45 minutes.
So there you go.
This sounds like a lot of trouble. I'm just saying.
Yeah, for a mile. You're probably
So I got a question. When you girls were young and you were in high school, My first question for you is: did you ever like trick teachers, trick a boyfriend, trick mom and dad? And because to me, you girls are identical. I see them every day. But in crowds, I put my arm around Amber. Don't know. I think it's Angela.
Because you probably black out. So yes.
Well, yeah, but what I'm saying is, when you were young, did you trade places?
I think there's one point. What grade? Fourth, third?
I think we're in fourth grade.
Fourth grade.
You had Miss Franklin as a teacher, right?
And she was a bully. Yeah, she's just kind of.
Yeah, we didn't like her. But long story short, yes, I can remember we were out at recess.
Yep, that's right.
At recess, and
at the jungle gym, you go.
No,
you
jungle
girls,
gym.
What is that? Okay, first of all, it was not a jungle gym.
You were playing the featherball, tetherball.
Oh, Amber, we were really good at it. How about it? We'd love tetherball.
We should put those in our backyard.
That's a great plan for the kids.
Yeah, that was a great plan.
So back to your question is, so we were at recess, and I remember the bell had rang. We had to get on our line. So Amber was on clear across the other way, clear across the other side, as I was opposite of her. And I remember Amber running into my lines like, "Go to my line. I'm going to your line." I'm like, "Wait, what?" I kind of looked at her like, "What are you saying, Amber?" She's like, "Just go." And so she basically took off running the opposite side. And it was a long run. I was like, she didn't give me an option. So there I was. I took off to her line. Yeah. And little did I know, when I got into her class, I had to take a reading test. Angela was a smart one, clearly, at this time, guys. So I took the reading test for Amber, but all these students ratted me out.
And that I was the other twin. They called her mom and dad.
Yeah, they called her mom and dad.
So I think it's very deceptive practices for twins to sit there and do this thing. And I say, is there any scenario where you think it's fair, like that you shouldn't get in trouble? Is there any scenario where you're allowed to deceive folks and act as another?
I think it's a twin thing.
It's a twin thing. And first of all, I think then, I don't know how it is today, but they would never allow twins to be in the same class, which I think now is it the same or not? I'm not really sure.
I don't really know, sis. Unless I have twins. I don't know.
Yeah, well, you don't need any more babies. But that's a whole nother
well, like Jody Harriman just wrote, she's a twin sister. Also, she lives next door to one another. It's great. It's a lot of fun. Well, that's a good point.
It's a lot of fun, yes.
Well, you girls are used to trading places, and I find it. Be honest with you, I find it a little awkward and uncomfortable for people when they catch it. It's cute. It's all that thing. But I will say, I think I'm open to it. If that's what drives twins excitement, I'm willing to. Well, I'm just saying.
Being neighbors in general, you crazy.
Well, I'm saying.
Anyways, talking about being neighbors,
I'd be willing to trade places. I just don't want to know about it. I don't want to. I don't want to have to answer to the boss the next morning. I'm just saying, if it were to happen in our neighborhood.
So in other words, yes, we'll be neighbors soon to be. Hopefully, in what 2.5 weeks.
2.5 weeks.
Hopefully, 2.5.
So we're closing. Hopefully, fingers crossed that we close on May 15th, and we will be neighbors.
So, with you girls being neighbors, I guess my other question is, right now we live 20 miles apart. We see each other once a month. You girls, get together, do your nails, and do all those things. But I don't want to have to police fights. Like when you girls lived together, did you fight about anything?
The only thing we fought about was clothes.
Oh, jinx. Yeah. We only fought about clothes, but that's it. Even I think to this day, it's about clothes.
It's still. I told Mike that earlier.
Because Angel always takes my stuff. I'm like,
you take all my designer stuff and then you never bring it back.
Angel, it's a pair of shoes. You take all my stuff.
Well,
anyways,
I have more that you want to take.
Well, this cat, Jennifer says, "What's your craziest twin fight competition?" One of my brothers peed in one of my shoes because he was mad. Have y'all ever peed on each other's shoes, underwear?
That's a little creepy, so I would say no. We've never done anything crazy.
I think remember one time when
my brothers and I would do a dirty Sanchez.
No. I remember I kicked you. I was thinking I was gonna kick you, and I slipped and I kicked you in the face, and I got trouble from mom.
Jason is a man that's not married to twins. Is there something like when you hear a man's married to twins, and you go there's just a question you feel like jumps into your mind?
Ask us, Jay.
Oh boy,
Jay, you're in the hot seat.
This is dangerous.
Extremely so. Watch your words, Jay.
Yeah.
Choose them wisely, my friend.
Choose them wisely. Have you ever just kind of from behind, not knowing who's who, just kind of walked up and accidentally grabbed the wrong one?
I do it all the time. I'm an innocent victim.
I would say you and John have done the same.
Yeah, John and you have both done the same.
Right? Agree. That's correct.
What did John do?
We're gonna put my man in the hot seat right now.
Is John watching? By the way,
I have no idea.
Whoa! What did John do?
I'm just saying we should probably get John on the phone. That's just my
Well,
opinion.
what I'm saying, it happens how.
I
I
can
mean,
call him. I can call him.
my
Jay.
mistakes were innocent. I hope he didn't slip on a bar of soap when he made his mistake.
Oh my God.
Please
Okay.
don't say that.
Okay.
Well, I'm
Anyways,
just trying to
again,
figure out the
creepy.
whole situation. I
That's,
didn't
like,
realize I was
disturbing.
going to have my whole marriage on the line tonight.
Okay, that's disturbing to us. Take that back, babe.
So what did you girls, like what is the meanest thing you've ever done to each other?
Ooh, this should be good.
The meanest thing? I will say maybe like when
Did
I opened a salon.
Did I kiss your boyfriend?
Yeah, you took my boyfriend.
Yeah.
You didn't kiss him. Like, I
Uh-oh.
broke up with Kyle. His name was Kyle.
That's right.
Yeah, I remember, and Amber was
Kyle Busch.
on the other end, and I never knew that for, I don't know, maybe like a month.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I kept it a secret.
And she kept it a secret from me. That was pretty scary.
Wow, so you both
And
smooched
I
the
remember
same
hearing
boy.
about it, and I
That
thought it was really, really crappy.
How old
You?
were you?
16.
Wow.
We love you, Dad.
Oh,
Hi, Dad.
Darren Cope comes in.
Dad, you found a way to tune in. Thank you.
This is a big
We
fan.
better watch what we're gonna say now.
She's doing it for him.
Agree. I told Angie.
But also, yeah, I would also say you opened a salon next door. So I started a salon at Salon Vanilla. And
Oh, this was
Amber,
bad. This was evil. This was
and
evil.
Amber used to work for me at my salon.
Mhm.
Little did I know, her and her hubby or boyfriend at the time, which is a client of mine, was plotting to buy right next door and open their own salon. So
Yeah, not
that's what
just
they did.
plotting, but we bought the best. We bought the best.
Well, no,
Nice,
no.
really.
Angela
I
would
mean-
come home for a month and she's like, man, I'm really worried about my business. Somebody's renovating the building next to it. It's twice my size. It's a
That was
brand new
pretty-
salon. It's actually got a really nice taste and it's really good. I'm like, you'll beat them, baby. She's like, yeah. And she's talking to Amber about it, and Amber's like, yeah, don't worry about it, sis.
Yeah.
And then like a week later, Angela's like, the salon opened. I'm like, oh wow. And she's like, and I lost one of my employees. I'm like, who'd you lose? And she's like, Amber. I go, Amber went to go work for that salon. She goes, no, Amber owns.
Amber bought the
That's-
salon right next door.
What do you
That's
think of
really,
that,
I
Jason?
think that was like the hardest thing, like in all real honesty.
I mean, but yeah, I agree. But I agree to disagree because I look at it from the situation, from a standpoint where, Angela has Salon Vanilla, Amber works for Angela, and at
Yeah,
the
but you
end,
work for
Angela and I have
free.
always, yes, but Angela and I have always been raised, we're very competitive in general, yet we work together. So being a business owner, being an employee is never good enough for me. So of course, I mean, my husband, not my boyfriend at the time, and I think that we are so competitive that we just wanted to outdo her. And we did.
I just wish.
Whoa.
I just wish she would have.
We did.
But
It's
I
very
always
simple.
feel like, no
So-
lie, honey. I always feel like as twins, it's always competitive. Like one's
Agreed.
trying to always outdo the other.
We compare lifestyles, anything. I guess this is with anybody.
Well,
but at
you
the end of
know-
the day, Angela and I, we're always
Dad.
very competitive.
Well, Dad just asked a question. Prior to that, somebody asked me if I drink a lot of scotch. No, I don't drink a lot of scotch, but I drink a lot of wine. I drink a lot of vodka. Just like their daddy, I'm sure the girls have given them a lot of gray hair. I'm worried about them next door. I'm optimistic that this trading thing may take place. But which one of you two girls gave daddy more gray hairs?
It would be Angela.
Whoa.
Why would it would not be me?
You think
Oh,
it'd be me? I didn't do nothing.
please tell.
Angela.
I'd say it's 50-50. It'd be both of us. Just the stress of us moving. I think, racing and NASCAR trying to be competitive in a male dominated sport. I think that's given Dad a ton of gray hairs, and the stress of
I mean,
knowing that
yes,
we
it-
haven't put ourselves in the best situation
I agree.
in racing in general, because we haven't had, let's just be honest,
Yeah.
the right sponsorship at the time. So I think
Yeah,
Dad lives our stress that we live every day, and in the end, he knows we're chasing our dream and our goal, and that is to be where we are today.
And
And thank you, Mom and Dad, for that, because we
Yes.
owe it to
And
them.
Mom and Dad would never. They're proud of us regardless. I don't think they would
Absolutely.
ever change anything. And us moving out here, I think, was the best thing that we could ever did for ourselves, our careers, our husbands, and our
Babies.
lifestyles, babies,
Yeah.
soon to be more babies, puppies.
Well,
million
well,
puppies.
Amber, with that said,
Yeah.
we call Amber Auntie Mommy.
But I'm Auntie Mommy. Why?
Amber, how did you come up with Auntie Mommy? I
Okay,
love that.
because we're twins, right? So we
Yeah.
look the same. So we're both mommies. So when the babies look at us, they're gonna think, "Oh, she my mommy, she my mommy." Makes sense, right?
Auntie
So I think
Mommy.
Auntie Mommy.
I call Angela Mommy, but and now that John's been coming up behind my wife, can I call you Mommy as well?
No, you creep.
I'm just saying,
No.
John,
No.
you just thrown the gauntlet down on me. My things were innocent. I bought Amber flowers because I thought it was Angela. I brought her a tulip field, and
Tulip field.
yeah,
No, he didn't. No, he
What
didn't.
is that? No, you did not.
So the fans should probably vote in. I wonder if everybody can tell with just a simple glance which one is Amber and which one is Angela. My mom asked me this same question, and I told Mom it's an unfair question. I know Angela inside and out. I don't think it's a fair way to judge.
Do not say
The
that.
what?
What I just said. I know
That's
you. I know.
disturbing.
No, I
So
know
he
your
said inside out. You know
personality,
his little thing.
honey. What? No,
And
honey,
you're
I know
disgusting and stop.
I am.
I'm gonna walk
Jason.
off. I'm gonna walk off. I'm gonna walk off the
Honey,
set.
we
I'm
are
gonna walk off the set.
PG-13.
I'm gonna walk
Are
off
you
the
trying to
set.
save everybody?
No, I'm
Yeah,
not
'cause
trying
you're
to creep anybody out. I was
Well,
talking
you're
about.
creeping.
I
You're
know
creeping
your
your neighbor
soul.
out, and I'm your neighbor at the moment.
I know
so
your
I'm
soul.
gonna walk off the set.
Okay,
Knock it off.
all right.
Eat your
Changes.
popcorn.
Change the subject. Jason, if you were a fan and you were looking at this, do they look like twins? Same?
Oh, they definitely look like twins. I mean, I think because I've known them for a long time.
I keep feeling like I'm fluffing up my hair. But
Yeah, they're pretty identical.
thanks. Even
For
minus
sure.
the clown face, Angel maybe
You
cake on
know,
my face tonight.
I've never,
Yeah.
before Angela and Amber, I've
Amber
never
just sits
really
on my hat.
known a twin. And when I first met them,
Sexy.
I found out they had the exact same birthmark, like right on the back of their head.
Does Ashley have it too, her little sister?
No,
or
Ashley does
No,
not
well,
have it. So we
that's
have a
well,
large, like a
Ashley's
strawberry on the back of our neck.
You,
So
what do
we
you call it, a
both,
strawberry?
yes, the mom always called it a strawberry on the back of our neck. We both have it.
Oh, a cherry.
Oh, Paul Belodo said before you came on, Mike, we're fixing the wrong one's hair. Well, sometimes, Paul, I get confused
I
too.
don't get that.
You know, and I actually got Tourette's. I got dementia. So every time, like, I get caught, saying the wrong thing to Amber, I'm like, it's Tourette's.
I'll just put him in his place. He's fine.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
But
I'll
yeah,
take
I
it
guess I was playing with the wrong one's hair. Sorry about that, John.
I don't understand.
Well, when we started, I was fixing her hair.
I had him fix my hair.
Yeah,
He
so
was
were
fluffing
both
up my
fixing
mom.
Paul noticed on
Fluffing up
that,
my
and I'm
hair.
sure Paul's going through the same.
Well, Mike also is used to the twins, by the way. Like, we've traveled together, lived together, all of us, and he knows how we are. We've
I live
owned,
with you guys.
we own hair salons. Like, we do all these crazy things in life.
So
race
Mike is
NASCAR,
always fluffing up our hair because we always ask him to be
and
fluffed.
he knows our good side. So that's his job.
Yeah. Well, it's been a burden. I've been carrying both these twins for a long time, and then John comes along,
my
and
man comes
yeah,
on,
your man come along, and he's taken over some of the burden. I appreciate that.
I think John needs to be on this show at some point.
Well, I think John and I probably kick you
I think-
girls off, and we'll
Agreed.
talk
No, I
about
think
it.
it's good.
I mean, I could probably fill this whole thing if I'm doing a testimony in the morning to be married to a twin. It's miserable. I mean, it's not what it's cracked up to be. Like,
Just wait, we haven't got started yet. We're gonna be neighbors in like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Prepare
Is there any
yourself,
part
baby.
of anybody, Jay, that thinks that
Can't wait.
them living next
Oh,
to
it's not even
each
hit
other
me,
is
but
good
yeah.
for
Not to
me?
hit me either. I'm not going to believe
That's trouble. I'm just going to be honest with you. The two of them living next to each other that close is trouble.
I mean, I figure the two of us take up tennis. So I've been golfing a lot. So
Yeah,
golf.
tennis.
We have all these beautiful amenities. We can, we have lots to do.
I'm all in.
Wow, that's great. So when you guys are all playing Uno together, and
Memory. I prefer memory.
memory.
How
prefer
about
memory.
Monopoly Deal?
I
Monopoly
mean, I still
deals.
suck on
That's
that.
been our go-to.
So are
on
we
the
gonna
tour.
have like a weekend pinochle between?
I prefer.
couples?
I would say backgammon. How about? Well, I guess you can't really play
Well,
that.
How about
Couples,
croquet?
though.
Remember croquet?
Angela, okay. What is croquet? That's okay.
We
Vintage.
played as a kid. Remember?
Yeah, we're gonna put those. Yeah, okay.
Put them
We
in
can
your
play croquet.
yard.
So, serious question I have that I've been wondering, and I know some fans have too. I'm curious if Amber, if you miss racing, like, do you miss NASCAR? Do you miss those days?
Absolutely, I do. Absolutely. Obviously, it's that's what we grew up doing, right? But I think at the time with the sponsorship and the situation that we're in, it's tough. But I'm definitely looking forward to get back in the seat.
She did say
it's-
she bought a simulator.
I did. It
Jason.
comes in 2 weeks, guys. 2 weeks.
This is big news. So, you getting a simulator, does that mean there's a potential?
That means it's called that. Go ahead.
No, is there a potential return to the track at some
Absolutely,
point?
there is. Absolutely.
Whoa.
Wow. This
Whoa.
is news. This is breaking
and
news.
yeah, coming in hot. Yeah, because I'm sweating.
Coming in
Yeah.
hot.
Maybe she should go race my sim race tonight at
Hey,
Kansas.
good thing is nobody knows
Yeah.
who's in that seat. It's either you or me, right?
I'm willing to share.
Well,
some.
I
want
mean,
to share.
I think the whole family has decided on this podcast. We're all willing to share. So,
Oh, boy.
but what?
Creep again. You're a creep.
Well,
No,
I'm not
that's
being
so
a
screwed
creep.
up.
I'm
Stop.
talking about
know how
you
to take
giving up
that.
your seat for Amber.
Hey, this is a big deal, though. Like, we're breaking news on the show tonight.
Amber's
so, Amber is coming back to
Coming in
NASCAR.
hot, baby. Coming in hot.
Would you listen to music? Can you play?
Wow.
Yeah, dance it out on that on your end, Jay.
No.
What?
No,
Play
fine.
what now?
A little dun dun, like she come back, like a little.
Coming in hot. I don't know.
Listen, he got something for us.
Start your engines.
Yeah.
yeah, that'll work.
Stupid, dude.
Oh my
Something.
So we
God.
didn't
Oh my-
prep
anyways.
Jason because we all got off guard by this news. which we're all sharing news.
That's
I
right.
mean,
Do you have anything else you want to share with
I
us,
think I have
Amber?
a top hat on.
I mean, it is a top hat.
Oh,
I love them. They're
no.
sexy.
Okay.
well, Amber, your eyes.
And
your
is this
eyes-
trucks first? Like, are you coming in trucks, Xfinity? What are you doing?
You know, I don't know. I'll take. I prefer Xfinity. I think the Xfinity car is a little bit easier to drive personally, but we'll start in probably trucks. To be honest with you,
But you're coming in hot.
I'm coming in
Wow.
absolutely hot.
Big news.
So
Prepare yourself.
twin turbos coming to NASCAR.
The
Around
neighbors.
the corner.
Yep.
So all
Neighborly.
these little boys that race in NASCAR, now they got a tag team. You know, would you
Tag
girls
team.
race together, or would you like in the same car, separate cars? What would that be?
I prefer.
I don't think they can race
no
in the same
offense, I
car.
don't share.
man.
I
Oh,
think
you can't race in the same car. You can't be like co-pilot.
No,
no, it's not funny.
in
You
a
know
plane,
that.
sure.
I think in a perfect world for Amber and I, because we started out in the beginning in racing. I mean, how did
Yeah.
we get started? So why don't you tell them a little bit of our backgrounds for the people that don't know
Whoa.
Amber?
I mean, so we started obviously back in home in Seattle at the age of 9 racing go-karts. So that was our passion. Our family got us a go-kart for fun. Who would ever thought that it would lead to where we are today?
Just the
and-
love and passion I think we had for it at the time.
Thank you.
But we also had, following Uncle Derek, Uncle won the Daytona 500 in
Yeah.
1990, but having him to look up to and to watch on TV was big for Amber and I.
Yeah.
So having that on TV in front of us and also knowing that there was
Which is
no really
motivating.
females at the
Yeah,
time.
exactly.
And Amber and I always looked at each other as like, why can't the two of us be the first twins in NASCAR? Which we have accomplished, as that's kind of how we got started in it. And we always shared a ride, though. I would say we always shared an ARCA. We were always testing in ARCA cars. We were always testing in Cup car and Xfinity, which was Busch before then.
Correct.
Busch and Xfinity cars. And it takes a lot of funding, as we all know. So
I've always said that it's better to share a good man than have a bad one all to yourself. If we're gonna share rides.
All right.
I'm sorry. But anyway, Jay,
It's
so
so
I
funny.
think
Oh my God.
NASCAR, I'm sorry, I was
believe you said it.
dazing
Walking off
off.
the set.
No, I know I
What?
was dazing off. NASCAR
What?
won't
Look
hit
at this, I
them.
got a full gas.
Cheers. Cheers.
What do you think is the headline tomorrow? Because there's two huge stories that just came out. One, NASCAR is returning back to the track. But is that as big as Amber Cope is returning
Whoa.
back to the track?
Well, I'm sure they're
What
all
do you think the headline is?
with bated breath. I would imagine there's a lot of camps in NASCAR that does not want Amber to come back, but I would imagine there's a lot of people scared. I mean, you girls as a tag team, out there on the track doing that, the Ricky Bobby move, the shake and bake. And
Shake and bake.
Yeah, I mean, I think
I'm sorry, but I don't even know what that is.
I don't know what that is.
No.
either.
Well,
I
what
don't know
I'm
what the
saying,
shake and bake
what
is. I
I'm
know
saying
the
is, you
move.
girls
No.
come up with your wrestling moves. Come up with your move. Like if you're going down, this is like Robert just says, the real shake and bake. So you're going down the track. You're together, and Kevin Harvick comes up on the rear. You two are
I'm
battling it
drinking on
out.
that note.
You're battling it out.
great.
You
I
and
think
Kevin Harvick are battling
Yep.
out. I mean, you and Angela are battling out. Kevin Harvick's coming up, but you got position, Amber,
Mhm.
and you can get around Angela, take the lead, or you can block Harvick for a while. What's your move?
I'm blocking.
Yeah, of course, because
Going for the block.
Yeah,
he's,
going for the block, baby.
he's a little man. He's a little man. He needs to be tamed.
Yep.
But now you two girls are racing. You've outclassed all the boys in the race. You're 5 laps up. The title is in your grasp. Would you dump each other?
Actually, remember that time?
Ooh, that's a good point.
Actually, in
We took each other out,
go-karting,
that's
guys,
right.
I always remember
It's
this.
in Tri-Cities.
In Tri-Cities,
Yeah.
Amber was leading the race, going for the checker flag. Actually, we were under white, obviously, going for the checkered. Coming to the last turn. I remember I was in second behind her, and
She dumped us both.
I dumped her
And
for
Dad-
the win.
and Dad
listen,
parked
I
us-
dumped. I know, but I wasn't planning on dumping you, sis. I was planning on going for
Yeah.
the win, and instead I took us both out of the race, 1 and 2, and it
And
costed us.
That's right. And it costed us, and Dad ripped her butts for
Speaking.
the whole day. But yeah.
That's kind of when I know my dad's listening. I hope you are, Dad. But that's when it'll be always the fondest time I remember. Is
Yeah, it
like
was a good
teaching us a
memory. Yeah.
lesson. Like we're in it to win it, the both of us, and we're a
And we're
team in the
Yeah,
end.
that's right. I agree. We
and
work together,
we work
and
together.
that's how we.
So-
that's how
Even
we
though
know.
you did open that stall next
I
to me,
was
that
just gonna say,
scandalous.
so
It's called business. Business
So-
is business, baby. Business.
Well, I guess what Amber's saying
This
is,
is business.
we
We're
going
married-
down the lead. You Angela, you dumped Amber.
Exactly. So it's the same thing, right?
Yeah,
In it to win it all the
actually,
You
time.
were really 10 years old. We didn't know what it was.
Angela,
back
who cares?
then.
We were 30 then. 33. Who cares?
What?
Business
No,
is business.
Yeah,
in it to
I'm
win
with-
it. I'm in it to win it. You're in it to win it
Amber,
too.
I saw it
Thank
different
you.
at the time because I lived it and I was with Angela. We were a couple, and I found it disturbing because she came home frustrated. But now that you say it, and Angela set the
same
precedent.
thing.
No,
Same
I'm
thing.
with you, baby.
And I think when you're,
I don't think it's the same thing.
it really is, because when you're married to, we're each married to very successful people who are very motivating, right? So they motivate you to be better, to want more. And John motivated me to do my thing. And it's the same thing. So it goes back, and it's all.
But I obviously motivated you at some point to do that on your own, though.
Can I point out an
No, you
obvious
did not.
thing about your husband, John, though, that the fans are probably Amber, the fans are
listen, don't knock
probably
me
thinking
off.
about John. So John encouraged you to open a salon.
Yeah.
I wish
John
he was tuning in.
accidentally is grabbed you from behind. I mean, I'm feeling a little,
Okay, just
defensive over here. Like John's got, a bullseye on my forehead or something. You know what I mean?
I would. I mean,
I haven't done these things to John.
don't be threatened, baby. Don't be threatened.
Well, no, I mean, I just wanted to talk about it. But we can move on. We can move
I think
on.
that's a conversation that you should save for when John comes on
Yeah.
set.
So Amber, Auntie Mommy,
Auntie Mommy.
Angela and
I love
I've
Auntie
got
Mommy.
2 babies under 13 months.
We do.
We have
Which
left.
It's still, I think, is absolutely crazy. But
I
yes,
mean,
I'm still trying to take it all in. But yes.
And Amber thinks Angela's nuts, or I'm nuts, or we're collectively nuts.
I think y'all are both crazy and nuts.
Why though? Why?
I just think
Crazy and nuts for what?
for 2 babies similar in age, I just think it's a lot to take on. I think there's a lot going on just in this lifestyle, my lifestyle. There's just so much in general. So I think when you throw 1 baby in the mix, you get 2, it gets even crazier. So I think at some point you got to reevaluate and take a step back and be like, okay, like with 1 baby, it'd be perfect.
What would you
I think
say?
one baby you focus on
What
one is
would you
perfect.
say
make
if
him
we
the
had?
best. That's just my personal opinion.
Well, okay. And by the way, to your point, your dads were dealt with twins.
Agree.
And when you have twins, you have to understand that God is very particular about this. He splits up good traits and he picks up bad traits. So in your guys' case, I think it's clearly defined. There's 1 good twin and 1 bad twin. Where do you think would you fall in this?
I mean, if I'm being clear honest, I always say Andrew used to be the bad twin, the good twin. I think now the tables have turned. I'm the bad twin. She's a good twin.
Yeah,
Wow.
wow. Have babies.
She has babies, so I'm not quite there yet. But I think at some point I will be.
Well, so we have
I think
2.
life just slows you down, like for us. Like it just,
Yeah.
you just
Define bad. I'm just curious. What does
Like,
bad mean?
Well, I don't really want to know, Jason, because
don't
if
think
the
anyone
whole
wants to know.
conversation started off with my twin was bad, like I really wanted to focus on Amber being bad, but I really don't want to hear about
before
my.
we met,
But
darling.
Don't
Before
get ahead of
the
yourself.
time.
No,
Before the
no.
greatest
Calm
time.
down, dog.
Before the
Well,
greatest time. What are you talking about? You talked about your second marriage, your first marriage, and,
Hey,
and the
by the
podcast
way,
before this. What
Which
is
I
so
haven't wasted
different?
time
by the way, I want
Yeah.
to talk about my 4th marriage. I've already been talking to her. She's a beautiful girl. Amber, any babies in the future? Bryce.
Bryce, I love you, Bryce. It's good to see you. My mind's not made up yet. I go back and forth. I feel like my life is so busy with the 3 salons that John and I have.
What about complete with our babies?
Yes, I agree. We have this mountain house that we're building, and you guys have 2 babies, and yeah, like I'm okay right now. Like I'm in a good place. I think that I'm in a good place on my business side of things. I'm gonna reevaluate in a year. But
All right,
my husband gives me 6 months.
Well, Bryce,
6 months for a baby.
now
6
that
months,
you
and he's out having a baby. He gives me 6 months.
whoa, Paul Bilodeau, the girls make me want to drink right now. How you holding up, Mike? Well, they make me want to drink every day of my life. Sometimes for the good reasons, sometimes for the bad reasons. But most of the time, it's just one more pile on the pot that makes me drink. So. But right now, I'm definitely gonna have to drink because these 2 girls are a burden to me.
Well, I'm gonna keep drinking and eating this popcorn. So
I probably need to stop drinking because I'm about ready to get on a sim and go race these.
Good thing
boys
is,
in
Angela, I got
Kansas.
you covered because I've already been testing in Kansas, so I'm ready. So if you can, I'll cover for you.
You can't run the times I've been running, sis.
Now I wonder
Ooh.
how would NASCAR police that?
They don't. They
Yeah,
wouldn't.
let's think about that. So could this iRacing that Angela's going to do tonight?
But tonight I will be drinking and driving, guys. I'm really sorry, but that's where
Uh-oh.
It's a problem. See, I'm
Uh,
having this cocktail. It's a problem.
Yeah, put it by. Actually, you only had 2 sips. We're good. Actually, that's actually puts us in a pickle, Jason.
The good thing is I'm gonna
This
drink
is
this
a live-
cocktail for her.
Live podcast. Amber, take the cocktail.
I'm gonna drink it for her.
Huh.
It's a little too late.
I
guys.
actually
They're
feel
gonna
Dilemma.
be okay.
Wow, Jason, I feel like we're in an absolute pickle. Like we got caught in one of those moments, one of those NASCAR moments.
Well,
But-
there's always many NASCAR moments. And
well,
guess what? It's okay.
I
You're gonna
think.
be okay, oh man.
Well, no, but I think the difference between these fellas at NASCAR, that one said the N word, one quit his race. I mean,
Oh,
that's
yes,
apple
N-word.
juice that I gave the twins. They're just really not that sharp and smart. So Angela's going to race on apple juice on some sparkling wine.
Sparkling apple cider.
She could be like the next big iRacing scandal, right? Drinking while she's having a race.
Apple cider.
Apple cider. So
Bubba Wallace, Kyle Larson.
Remember, we have two
Angela
babies in
Ruch.
the house,
Yeah,
guys.
could
Two
you
babies.
imagine, Jason?
King loves apple cider.
Well, you know, we do have babies and we do have apple cider in the house. And I do think, you know, that no, I feel like the fans need to understand that that's a non-alcoholic drink. And
It absolutely is. As
yeah,
we all know.
100%. And but Angela's going to race the sim, and Amber's going to stay with us when Angela leaves.
Amber's
Oh, I'm gonna hang in here and take your place, huh?
Sis is taking my
I'm gonna take
spot.
them for the team. Okay, I got it.
But
Got you covered.
Amber,
over there.
unlike your husband John, I would like you to sit a full seat away.
I will, because you're making me sweaty.
Social distancing.
I feel like I'm
Yeah,
I'm
we're
sweating.
gonna-
getting really sweaty. Like I'm sweaty right now.
Well, I mean, I
I'm
talked
in a
to
dress and I have to go drive a sim.
I talked to the
comfortable.
producer about
I'm
us
gonna.
social distancing, and to this point, it's been me and Ange, me and Sweetness, and the optics don't look good. Like you see all these guys doing podcasts are in different rooms. The optics don't look good that we've invited Amber into our home.
What do you want me to get your mask? I mean, what do you want?
No, I'm just saying I was comfortable
Okay.
with it
Where are the
because
masks
you're
you made
twins.
us?
I have them out their house.
You were
I have-
sewing
I
our
have- I have
masks.
some
Where are
really
they?
beautiful masks. I have beautiful masks. Thanks to Dad's girlfriend Angie, who me and her, she spent many hours on FaceTime with me so we could make it some sexy masks, which I did.
Where they at?
And you will know eyelash that's sticking out.
So, Jason, at this point, I think we're going to lose Angela. There's a couple questions from a fan.
I told myself I was gonna.
Here's a good question.
7:45.
Okay, guys, my brother and his girlfriend do with their first baby together. He's not really excited, moving on, finding a job. Any advice for successful parents and businessmen and women? I mean, we can't go to Auntie Mommy because Auntie Mommy does not have babies, and
I have
she's
two puppies. Puppies.
well,
count,
and
though. I mean,
and
some
she
are, I
breaks
mean,
she
come on now.
breaks personal performance
had two
contracts
puppies.
with her twin and opens salons next door. She smooches boyfriends.
Business
So-
is business. Again, keep them
Yeah.
in business. It's called
So
being smart.
what I think is Angela.
But what
Do you-
I missed the question. Is he not really excited on the baby, or he's not really excited about moving on and finding a job?
Well, I don't know. Jason can go back to the
Jason,
question.
go back to the question.
He's
really
exactly
excited
moving on and
moving
finding a
on,
job.
Finding a job. Why is he not excited moving on and finding a job?
That's what they do with their first
Like,
They
baby.
have a child.
Because they had a
Robert, I know, but they have a baby. He needs to work.
Yeah.
He's supporting the household. You know, like
Well, Robert,
at
here.
some point, no, let me kind of. At
Sorry,
some point,
brother.
just mom is needing and have to like be on bed rest. I'm sure at some point, like more than likely, it's like 50-50. That she had to be on bed rest, and so he's gonna have to support her at some point in time.
So
Am I
you
not
know,
right?
Angela, I agree. You know, and
And
Angela and I.
really knows this because she
and
really didn't care
well,
about
he
it,
said
but
he's
yeah.
finding a job, but my point being is, well, Angela and I were adopting was financially draining, so
Yeah.
I felt like I needed bed rest because I felt like I was the one having the baby.
Mike always needs bed rest.
No,
so
I was just
take
simply
that out of the
saying,
equation. That doesn't
Jason,
mean
I'm
And he
the
takes
one-
naps.
I'm
He
the
takes
one-
naps every day.
No, my point being,
So does
I'm
my
the one
man, that's
having
okay.
I'm the one having the baby. If you think about it, because financially, like our boy Robert, he's got to go find a job. He got to go get paid.
I mean, I
You
get
know,
it's exhausting. Babe. I get
It's exhausting being the man,
was his
but
name,
you
Robert?
didn't,
Robert?
you didn't
Yeah,
carry
Robert.
this baby.
No,
I feel like the whole
didn't, but-
burden of birth was on me.
Yeah, but I'm talking about for her carrying the baby. Like, I'm assuming she's not adopting. Maybe she is. I'd love
But-
to know.
but, like,
that.
no
Well,
offense,
I mean,
anything in
honey,
life
if
is
she's
wor- is
carrying the
work.
baby,
Yeah.
she's not carrying the adopted mom. I mean, she's
And I didn't-
definitely not
I
adopting.
know. I don't
Like
remember what
she's,
the question
don't
said.
understand.
babe.
No, it's just you can't compare.
it is
but
definitely
in
it is
this one that you
definitely
know, it's
sparkling
Like, oh my God.
apple juice. It's sparkling wine.
No, I'm just saying though, like like in all like reality is like if she's.
Well, I just
carrying
think in
the
general,
baby-
change is hard. So when anyone like brings like someone you find out you're pregnant or you're having a baby, change is difficult. So it definitely puts stress, I think, on a relationship and on a marriage and on work
It
because
does,
you
it's
feel like
change.
you have to provide for this family now. Because
Well,
it's not just the two of
it
you;
is
it's
a
a
lot of
third baby. So
pressure.
it's
Well,
a lot.
I'm a lot
So
older
it's
than
hard.
I'm a lot older than Angela, and I've been going through the
sometimes-
change right now. I mean, I've definitely gone through a change, and I just don't know how supportive
I
it
think
is.
sometimes I can actually. I don't mean to like throw any names out there, but I can kind of. I'm ignoring you, honey. I kind of go back to our little sister. We have a younger sister
Yeah.
who's married with a child, Stella, and she's
Yeah, she's
Beautiful
beautiful.
baby.
She's so beautiful.
she's 6.5 months old. She's gorgeous, and I think her and her husband. It's hard at times. It's hard because I think the husband kind of that you lose. Help me out, Amber.
I mean, the whole situation is difficult. I mean, which
Actually,
part?
if you're tuning in, I'm really sorry, but I'm
Well-
saying in general, like, no, it's hard though. It's hard for a dad to go back to work, or it's hard to get motivated to do that. You know, where I know Garrett wants to stay at home and be that great dad that he is, right?
I don't think he really wants that, but yeah, I think.
Are you,
Well,
are
you
you
know,
calling him out?
Well, no, I'll explain it for Garrett. I mean, when I had babies, I said it was a new spot in my life. I wanted to settle down. I wanted to raise the baby, be more present. You know, I didn't realize Corona was coming along. I didn't realize I was going to be this present. I'm sure our boy Garrett out in Seattle, which is an absolute lockdown.
No,
He's
Gary,
sitting there
Gary's
going-
still working. Keep that in mind.
Oh, well, okay.
We got a big stimulus package, a little big
He
check.
did.
Well, you know, if
All right, cool.
if you girls were running a running race,
Oh,
who would win?
I mean, my trainer Diane is the best out there, so I don't know. I give you a run for your money. I'm just
No,
saying.
you wouldn't.
Angela, yes, I would.
Amber, I've run longer than you have.
Hey, Diane, I think that's a test for us if you're listening. So we are going
Look
to
at the picture of Diane.
Oh, there she
Diane
is. Look at
yeah.
Oh,
see,
Oh
thank
my
you.
gosh.
Thank
So,
you. Oh, Diane,
I
yeah.
can't speak. I can't
Diana
speak.
knows I beat her butt in arm wrestling the other day.
That girl's jacked.
What?
Yeah.
Angela, no, I'm not. Arm wrestling right
She's
here. We have
pretty much right now.
I will
She's
arm
already
wrestle right
beat
now,
her.
but you have to stand up. There's no room in here. But
So,
Diane, I would whoop her
Amber,
butt.
Amber, if you
Thanks
and
to
I
you.
were run a race, who would win? This race.
It was a tie, by the
no,
way.
no,
It was
no,
a
it was
tie,
not
like
a
10 years
tie.
ago, 8 years ago.
So
No.
eight years ago, Amber it was staying with us. This is pre-John, and Amber and Angela were hanging out on the couch, and
That's so
I'm
funny,
drinking.
isn't
It's
that?
10, 11 o'clock at night,
So
and
long.
Amber's the girls weren't drinking, but Amber says, "Hey, I'm going to go train. I'm going to go for a run." I'm like, "You're going for a run at 10 o'clock at night?" And it's like, "Yeah, I'm going for a run at 10 o'clock at night." And I said, "Well, I'll go run with you." And I'm 2 bottles in, and she's like, "You can't beat me." And I said, "Well, I'll give you a mailbox." And I gave her a mailbox, and Amber, so that mailbox was probably 100 feet.
But we were
And-
also like 26, never training, never running.
yeah, well, yeah.
The women
We're
we are
skinny
today,
mini,
we
we're
would
itty
beat your
bitty.
butts.
yeah, they were little
And we'll
girls.
give you
I
like
would,
a mile
Itty
ahead
bitty
of us.
titty
well, I
city.
was 40. I was in shape. I was
Don't
jacked.
say
I
that.
was beautiful. I
Well,
was.
girls we were.
I was.
So,
Would you admit?
Nothing.
Would you admit I was like a Greek god at the time? I mean,
I
I
wouldn't
was.
go that far,
I was
but, I mean,
beautiful.
no.
And Amber goes off. The bell hits. Angela is in the car. She beeps the horn. Amber's
and Bill
got a
White,
bell-
your
and my
bestie.
buddy Bill White. And Amber
The
Oh.
just
horn
gets
beeps.
off going. And I'm like, damn, her form's good. I'm just flailing, like, ooh, I'm flailing.
How's
So
so
we-
the story? Come on, you're
I'm
boring
not. I
us.
apologize. It's a long story
have
short.
questions
I
from our
I
fans. We
won.
need to tune
All
in.
right, come on, bring it. That was a bad
Yeah.
story. There was a better finish line. Go ahead, baby.
Gage. Hey, Angela Rook, do you like road courses, super speedways, short tracks, or intermediate tracks, and why? I love the super speedways. Why? Is because, to be super honest with you, is I haven't had the most best funding out there possible. So I feel like the super speedways give us drivers, I hate to say back of the pack, but give us drivers that are struggling a little bit, kind of steady Eddie, and it gives us kind of a leg up, and it's anybody's win in the end, as long as you're smart. So that's why
So
super
how would
speedways.
you
I think
say
that plane is his, Mikey. You see that plane? It's a
That's
sick
what I was
plane.
just getting at.
I
Is
like your ride.
Yeah.
the name is. I mean, how do you say that first name?
Gage.
Gage.
I love
Gage.
it. Yeah, I
How
love
do
the
you know
name.
it's not-
sexy?
Sexy name, baby.
I think it's Gag. I think
I
it's.
think you're a
Gage, yeah,
creep again. And
I think
It's
it's
very
Gag. I think
creepy,
you got it
Gage.
growing up. It's
But
Gag
Gage,
man.
my answer is super speedway because it gives every player a shot at a win.
So our producers came and said, "Hey, well, season 2, we're gonna get going." And I said, "Why don't we film me going racing?" I mean, it just seems so simple. These guys are racing these 11 years olds on the ice sims. Why can't I jump in a truck and race you 2 girls?
You're not gonna make it.
What do you
No,
don't
you're
think
not
I
gonna make it
got?
very
You can
simple.
barely pull the car out of a driveway, baby.
Well, because
no offense, like we
well,
live in a high rise, and you can't even back out a car.
I think he
Is that,
probably
like,
takes it. He probably hits
reversing
every
it, like,
wheel,
10
every
times?
rim, like my man does.
no,
so
I
probably
just
not
don't trust the
He's
technology.
trashed every brand new car rim.
I don't trust the
Just like
technology.
John ripped off the wheels off his Tesla the first week we had it.
Horrible. He doesn't even care.
No.
So, Jason, is there any part of you that thinks if I went on a heavy duty training thing, I got small like Kevin Harvick, I got tiny, I got.
I don't think you can get that small. That dude's like.
I get insignificant. I get tiny. I lose a bunch of weight. Do you think I can compete with these girls?
You're out.
in
I
that?
say you're out.
I think we should try it. I think we should find a track,
Actually, you just start
and
out
the 3 of you should go race.
at Charlotte. Like we'd love to see you test out there and see what you got.
Well, no. I
I've
mean,
tried getting in a car.
Well, no,
I
I think
I drive you, you drive me.
And
Kind of
he'd
thing.
be
You want nothing to do with it. So
Well,
now
I
you're
think-
saying you're up been willing.
No. I'm not.
Put
I'm
your
not
money where your
scared.
mouth is,
well,
baby. That's what I
First
say.
off, but I think I want to dip my toe and let's do a boxcar derby. We'll build a car.
They don't do that these days, babe.
They do boxcar
Not
derbies,
for old
honey.
people.
So I mean, our nanny just gasped.
Sorry,
You
my
know what I
hat's in
mean?
My top hat.
We start
Sorry.
with a boxcar derby. Then we go on to go-karts at the local go-karting.
Sure.
And then we
Sure.
move up. But we do this accelerated plan in a span of 5 days.
Doesn't sound
So-
exciting, but sure.
Yeah,
We
like
should like
boxcar
a certain kind of race every single day for 5 days, and we should film it.
Well,
Jason, what do you think? We should
Season
but
2
ultimately,
contest.
this is my
We should start,
NASCAR
like
training.
a little whatever you say. Go like a, what do you say? It was like a boxcar derby, and
A
then we should
NASCAR derby.
go to like the Mooresville.
I got a question.
What's that?
I got a question for you.
GoPro or-
I'm not sure if Ange knows what a boxcar derby is.
Yeah, we go
Amber,
to
do you
the
know what a
Charlotte.
boxcar derby is?
It's like a box, and you sit in like a soapbox.
You push
Yeah, you push,
Told you.
Yeah,
and you steer or something. You make it, right?
yeah.
It'd be like, hey, Angela,
Alfalfa.
Amber,
What's
Amber,
that
do you,
movie? Alfalfa. What's that
Amber, do
movie?
you know what a
It's like a vintage.
paperclip
It's
is?
like a vintage box. Some shit.
A vintage
A
box.
vintage box.
My first wife and I, that's what I call it, and I'm not happy about it. I don't ever want to go and see it again. And
You shouldn't.
I definitely
shouldn't.
know. I promise you, I will
think you
not
stop.
see my first wife's vintage box.
Oh boy.
And
Okay, all right,
I
team. Well, let's get back on track. On that note, yeah. Anyways, next question.
y'all just need to go to an indoor go-kart and race.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's fun. Done.
Robert, I don't ever think that those indoor,
Robert, you're hired, baby. Let's go.
no, those indoor go-karting tracks are never like fair. Like you just sit in a
Yeah,
car
we just
and
go
it
to GoPro.
sucks. I know.
Probably a good one.
No, he said indoor. Indoor is like the indoor. I don't like them.
You know, cheap or stupid.
You never really know what you're getting into. You know what I mean? Like I'd rather go to GoPro and outdoor.
right. Teresa,
Yeah.
you're absolutely correct on that.
All right, so whoever this Teresa
Teresa.
Kent Hardison, and
Teresa
I don't even
Kent
know. I
Hardison.
don't even know how Teresa's got a male middle name, and she says I'd get smoked at the track. by
Absolutely
Angela.
would.
That
My
means
both of
don't
us.
even waste your time, baby.
And by the way,
I was
guys,
just
in
saying.
less than 3 minutes, I have got to leave to
Well,
go run my
The good thing is
sermons.
the two of us got the fort.
Yeah,
Here.
yeah.
I mean, I'll show you ready to handle this.
We
got
ain't
this.
scared.
We
We're
ain't
gonna
scared
we're
nothing,
gonna
baby.
call in guests. We're gonna call in
We're calling
Kevin
guests.
Mikey,
Harper
no.
to be on the show. We're gonna
Oh,
talk about
boy.
him.
Now you're talking crazy.
You just talk
We're gonna
crazy,
call
I'll believe that.
Amber's husband John.
Johnny boy.
John would answer.
yeah.
I don't.
And then I think in Corona, if Jason was in our living room or like kitchen like he's been the last 2 weeks, we'd probably call his wife, Melissa.
No, we wouldn't.
So
No.
Jason, how is it that I missed you? Hey, are you not here? I mean, where you at? Are you home?
He
Yeah.
I've been
We go
there. Where have you been?
He was here,
I
but
know, it's
tomorrow
okay.
is his anniversary, so we had to leave.
That's
early.
right.
Oh, okay. Happy
10
anniversary,
years.
dog. You
Yeah.
made it to see another
Thank you
year,
very much. 10
Cheers.
years.
baby. How many years?
Cheers.
Jason? Cheers.
10.
Jason's
10
not drinking.
years.
but We are, unfortunately.
I think we all have anniversaries.
But
We
sparkling.
all have anniversaries coming
just
up.
sparkling wine. Just
sparkling for me, not
wine.
for you guys. Sparkling for me.
Yes. So Jason is home for his anniversary,
Mhm.
and
So Jason, I'm gonna ask you a question. I'm gonna put you in the hot seat for a second. So what are you
Oh.
doing?
Come on.
So hey, what are you doing for your wifey?
I got a whole thing planned. I'm a little worried that she may be watching this, so I'm
she
not
doesn't
sure.
watch.
I'll-
She can't
She ain't
stand
watching
me.
nothing. Come on.
She don't care.
Well, I'll tell you that. Well, she may be. I don't want to ruin it. I got a lot set up. There's
Okay,
unfortunately we
I've
can't
heard
go
that.
out
I've
to
heard
dinner.
Okay, so all I'm gonna say is I've heard that before.
a hint. Just,
Oh, okay.
See a lot planned. But yeah, okay.
How about
we
some
will give
pictures?
you-
I'll tell you
we
next
still
week.
are in quarantine, guys. So let's keep that real. Like,
That's
you know,
right.
No, I agree.
Well,
I'm
and-
okay with that. I agree.
So-
So you must have something planned then, Jay.
A lot of
You can't-
detail goes into planning something like this.
Well, I think in quarantine, Jason. I think in quarantine
I got you, Jay.
you start with hide and seek, and you go into dark places and you play pin the tail on the donkey.
Oh my
and,
God.
Play-
Okay.
I'm
play
simply
play hide the weenie.
disturbing.
I'm
Don't. That's
giving
not
my
funny.
friend
PG,
Jason-
PG-13. PG.
no.
please.
My point being is,
I'm living in 1
it's
minute.
how many
1
years
minute
has
out.
it been, Jason?
10.
Oh, Jason is sweet. Sarah Villanova, you have
Do you
no
know
idea.
Sarah Villanova?
No.
I've always said if I'm on a
Beautiful.
long
very
stretch in
pretty.
prison,
Thanks,
I would-
Sarah.
I would date Jason. I mean, I feel like he's a fine man. He's a sturdy man. He's a good looking man. And for the most part, I feel like I can trust him, but we'll see what happens. I'll see you in San Quentin here shortly, Jason, when everything breaks down in quarantine.
Oh boy, that's
Hopefully
scary.
this quarantine is almost over. I'm hoping next few weeks. I mean, I'm not sure what to do.
All right.
Yes, we're-
Well, here's the most important thing, Jason. We're going to have to come up. I'm going to let you be the narrator. We're going to kick Angela out.
Wait, no,
It's-
how
Oh,
about-
I
how
can't
about one more
wait.
question? everybody's been asking us. I have a couple more minutes because I've been practicing. I feel really good about Kansas.
No.
Angie, thank you for good luck tonight.
Thanks, Angie.
I need the good luck tonight at the racetrack at Kansas, but everybody keeps asking us, are we gonna have another baby? Like, what are the odds?
When I
and
hear
chances?
any of you,
That's not serious, is it?
I think you guys have all lost your minds. I think you lost your minds after the first baby.
I second that.
I black out when I hear
Agreed.
third baby, fourth baby. We're buying a big pad. We're doing this. If I hear that one time, we're not gonna be neighbors because John and I are gonna move.
You won't watch it.
Too many kids.
I definitely call
Too many
John
kids.
now because
By the
John
way,
told me
I do not
different.
want to live in the Point. I'm only moving there for
Okay,
you.
I-
Yeah,
I
we're
hear
all
you.
moving to
I
the
got
point
Charlotte.
to be next to Amber because
Yes,
Angela
neighbors, okay.
wants that.
Agree, because that's what we need for us. But yes, I think that we're good with the 2 babies
So
we have now. I think
Amber,
it's
I
perfect.
got to tell you something. So
Whatever.
Madison's pregnant.
That's not a surprise.
No, she's
Yeah.
not.
That's
Is
not
she
a
really?
surprise. It doesn't surprise me.
So okay, so
And I find it
Madison.
disturbing, really.
Okay, so guys, so everybody, a little quick update. Madison is Lord's mom. So Lord is turning 6 months tomorrow. Lord's gonna be 6 months tomorrow. Can you
Yes.
believe that?
Oh, birthday.
So yeah, so Lord, her mom was on methadone, which is a drug. Not really. Would you say it a
She was-
drug? But
She was on
She was on
methadone to get
drugs
over
to get
her
over her addiction.
addiction.
That's correct.
yeah,
And
So-
Lord was a methadone baby. And
yeah. So it's been hard.
Madison is pregnant again. And
no surprise, because she'll continue to get pregnant again, which is fine. It's again,
I don't judge anybody for.
I judge nobody for nothing.
Yeah.
Agree.
Okay. guys.
So
Yeah,
there
come
is
back.
a Jason. It'll be like a coming story, but the conversation in our house that Amber has probably not participated in the last few hours.
Probably because I should not participate from the sounds of it. But go ahead.
Angela and I look at Lord's baby mama being pregnant. That could be half our baby, like half our sibling.
What does that mean?
Like Lord's sibling.
You're not thinking about what you're.
I think,
what
again,
I think you're thinking, are you?
my brain, and I think many people, everyone would think that.
Well, I told Angela.
We don't really talked about it a lot,
Yeah,
though. Let's be real
we've
and
been
honest.
angry
People, like, we
about
don't really
it,
know.
but-
Like, I think
but-
we're frustrated with Madison. We love Madison very, very much. We've done a lot for her, and
Oh boy.
nobody knows that we tried to help her. And
I think,
You know,
I think
again-
I need a cocktail on that note.
you have one in front of you. You have a
Or
full one.
3.
But not just that. But not just that. It's like like this is a woman that we've known for over a year now, babe. How about it? And I helped her try and get her driver's license. I
you
taught her
built
how to
relationship with her and
drive.
you've-
Well,
yes, you consider her part of the family,
I think
agreed.
Jason. I think the big
She's given us
question.
a big gift.
Yeah, I think
How many
we
gifts
love.
are you gonna give you? 20? You gonna take them all? She's gonna give you like 20 gifts. You should give
Actually,
whatever you
that's a really
want.
good point.
Exactly.
Thank you
Exactly
for
my
that,
point.
sis.
So you don't need 20 gifts. You already got 2 precious ones. That you got 2
I don't
perfect
want
babies.
20 gifts either.
Well,
But
You don't need a
Jason, forget that where we're at in our
over
lives. I
there.
got
Okay.
5 kids. I'm 50 years old. I'm beautiful. I got great hair like my son. But do you think there's any obligation if Lord's half sibling is going to be out there? Do you think there's any obligation on our part to talk
absolutely
about it?
no.
Well, I disagree. I mean, I
Absolutely.
feel
Obligation. This is a tricky one because I think I understand what you're saying. Like,
well, hold on, not
I'm sorry.
obligation. We got a
No.
lot to give, and Lord's got a sibling sitting out there. I think it's a discussion.
But at what point, I agree, but I think at what point do you just stop and say, okay, we have these beautiful home, beautiful family, beautiful babies. You have amazing things in life.
Which we're very, very thankful for every day, Amber.
Because everyone works hard. Agree. But at what point do you say enough is enough?
yeah, I mean, she's got a good point. Are you guys really considering this?
I don't know. No.
We haven't really. I'll be honest with you. We haven't really discussed it. I can tell you where my head's at.
I'm gonna tell you where my head's at. It's negative.
I would lean on taking the. We just heard this like yesterday, so we spent our first 24 hours being angry at Madison.
We might want to spend another like 2 weeks sleeping on that.
Well, I think it's not an obligation. I just
How am I
think-
going to look at things,
I
guys?
think-
It's like
I
we have a lot
definitely-
to offer.
yeah.
Stop. We have a lot to offer.
Mhm.
We have lots of love to
And-
give, and I
A
think
lot of people have thoughts on this.
Yeah, but guys, we are at a
Thank
time
you,
in our
Sarah, I
life
agree.
where we have so much to give. Like Mike's in his best
Well,
time of
you
his
know-
career.
I understand. I get it, but I think
Look at Robert Howell. Obligation, no. It's a choice. It's definitely possible.
Well,
Thank you, Robert, for that. I agree.
and I didn't
Totally agree
mean,
with
I
Robert.
got kind of caught
It's
in the
not an
obligation.
obligation.
I got caught in the
I
obligation.
hate that word obligation.
Strong
It's
I
not
hear,
fair.
yeah.
oh, you big heart.
You know, I hear you. I hear you. I didn't mean to use
Karen, yes,
obligation.
agree, baby. 100% agree.
I
with
would say, we opened up our home, 2 babies in 7 months, and a third baby, that's a lot.
Definitely
But
those are wrench and things. But
no, I mean, I think Angela and I haven't talked
think
about it,
that
but
question my
Amber,
parents said was very
I
real.
actually think I would like to have a conversation about having this baby.
I mean, I think it's definitely something to discuss. Yes, and sleep on for quite some time. At the end of the day, I think a person like Madison, which we are greatly thankful for her beautiful baby, Lord, because she's beautiful and amazing. But thank you. Exactly my thought. But thank you.
I was reading
I'm going to just stop right there because you just said exactly what I was going to say. Thank you. You summed it up, baby.
I was trying to look at them as you were texting me personally on my phone, and I was like,
I agree 100%, but that's it. It's very simple.
So
simple.
we have
Because
one fan that over time we've come very close to, and she just put up, oh hell no.
But at what point, no offense, does a person like Madison stop having babies?
I think a person like Madison will keep running the system.
Agree.
If I'm just being honest,
and that's the problem.
But people that don't know adoption, how it works.
Angela. Madison is, where our heart is with her. I mean, she ain't running the system.
I do know
The baby didn't come from running the system. The baby came
from making bad choices.
It is what it is.
You are how you raised, so that's very.
But my point being is,
one more would personally be okay. He says.
Well,
after that,
no, they're going to have 5 more. So just beware.
Well, I think there's a conversation to be had about.
Okay, guys.
Hey, guys.
I hate to interrupt you guys. I have 8 minutes of practice left at Kansas before I go run a qualifying lap.
Drive like you stole it, baby.
You feel good?
I feel good. If not, just hold me and I'll come in there and drive for you. Take over.
All right, Amber,
I'm
slide
prepared.
over.
I'm prepared.
You're making me sweat.
Love you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope Sis does well filling my position for tonight's podcast.
Well,
do not disappoint. That's my sexy top hat. But do not disappoint, Sis. Emily, we love you. Amber should take the baby.
Well,
there you go, Emily. That was the talk about.
Yes, and that is not happening, Emily. Yes, okay, that is a tough topic.
Mike
needs to discuss, Emily.
No,
oh my God, this is a lot of talking. There's so much talking going on.
I apologize. So Amber, have you ever seen the movie Trading Places?
No.
Eddie Murphy. It's an absolute classic. It's these two twins. They
I'm checking my hair out.
Well, you got one twin that's just angry all the time. She yells in computers and sim racing, and then you got another twin that just decides he's going to trade places like it's a better situation. So I think we'll take baby steps. We'll start with this podcast.
Okay.
And we'll see where things going. So Amber has traded places with Angela, and I'm nervous. I'm not going to lie. I'm nervous. Amber and I have this
is the first time together, Mike. How do we feel? Yes.
Well, we both love the same girl. I mean, and that's awkward, right?
Wow.
That's not really awkward, but no, I probably love her more. But yes, I've been with her my whole life.
Well, we both want her time, and I feel
that's tough. That's tough situation. That's very tough, but agree.
Yeah, so I'd like to for the fans while Angela's gone. I mean, what are the rules? Like, I live, right down the street from you.
I mean, I'll be honest, we have no rules. There's 0 rules. My husband has the same thing, and there's no rules because unfortunately, when we're neighbors, we'll be together every day. And John, I love you, honey, and you're probably gonna choke me for saying this, but every day there's no team. So we're a family and we're a team, and we'll be together.
Well,
together forever, baby.
I feel like John and I feel like that. There's a we in team, and that you.
What do you mean we in team?
Well,
could we leave you guys out?
What? So
I'm confused.
Jason, I got a few things I want to ask Amber. Like I have another podcast, and we've decided
I'm in the hot seat again. I feel like
you're in the hot seat. So I've decided that I will not let Angela on my podcast. Like it's a man's podcast. But because
she probably doesn't want to be on that podcast with all we talk about.
No, well, I'm just saying, Jason, can we shift this podcast to the little bit get rooked? I got some questions for Amber.
Oh, I'm definitely.
Oh, wow.
I like it.
Yeah, I'd like to put Amber in the hot seat on some of these hot NASCAR topics.
If I say pass, that means I'm not going to answer the
Well,
question.
yeah, if you want to say pass,
of course,
I
know.
I have some questions too, actually.
You do?
I do.
Well, go answer the first one,
I have some questions for you, Jace.
Okay. My first question, and this is a sincere, I'm really curious, is why did you leave NASCAR? Why did you just walk away when you were working so hard to get to where you were?
It really wasn't an option for me. We lost our sponsorship, and that was it. It's simple. I mean, I wasn't because of my choice, any choices I made. It wasn't because I decided just to quit. It had nothing to do with that. I think just bad place at the bad time. I think not good timing.
Does it
I think
bother you
it's
at
like
all?
again, why is Angela today where she is now? Because she has Mike. She has someone that's motivating her to help her to get through it, right? No, it's what.
Well, no. I was going to say, is there any jealousy that Angela's
Zero
racing and you're
zero
not
jealousy.
racing?
No, do I wish I was racing? 100%.
There's got to be a little. Come on.
Okay, here's the thing. No, my life is amazing, right? And so is Angela's. We both worked extremely hard to be where we are today, so I'm very grateful. But do I wish I was racing? Absolutely, I do. As for the reason why I think my husband got me the simulator, so I'm ready. Like I'm motivated. Like obviously our lives we're racing. That's all we know. So the salons kind of take the backfill of that, which is good for me because it keeps me busy and I run some good businesses. So it's good.
Well, I have personally seen Amber's salons. I've seen what she's built, and I will say, when you look at Angela running that salon versus Amber running 3 salons, I mean, Amber's skill set and Amber's ability and Amber's vision, she took those places since something I've never seen. I mean, it's a beautiful business.
I think there's always room for improvement,
Yeah,
but
I'm very proud of you.
Thanks, Debbie. It's it's been a tough go the last few years, but I think obviously you and Angela for Salon Vanilla, and then John came in, and John has really pushed me and motivated me to be a good business owner, even though he still chokes me and gives me these books every time I come home.
Whoa, chokes you?
My nightstand on how books. No,
Ta-
not the books, not the books that
Tantra?
you'd like, boys. But the
Oh,
books on
okay.
how to run a better business, how to hire better, because he thinks my hiring skills are enough, which I don't disagree, baby. I don't disagree.
Well, you know,
but there's always room for improvement. And guess what? I'm young. I'm learning it, and I have him to fall back on, and you. So it's great.
well, I think the young is relative, right? The clock is ticking a little bit. I mean, you girls ain't getting any younger.
No,
I
nobody's
mean,
getting younger,
now,
baby.
could you run these salons and still go racing?
100%. I put myself in a position now. I'm in a good spot. I don't have to work anymore. I don't need to. I do it because I love what I do, and I wouldn't do anything else.
So is there a date? Like, is there a tentative? Hey, is it next year, 2021? Are you going this year?
I'm not really sure. I'd like the end of the year if possible. You know, that's
Well,
what I'm thinking.
Jason, I think I this question wasn't out there, but I got a question. You know, these NASCAR drivers are dropping like flies. I mean, if they keep losing their rides, then Amber gets into the simulator and she starts running trucks. I mean, maybe Amber backfills one of those jobs with Angela. I mean, our boy, what was it, Kyle Larson? He lost his job for driving.
Gone.
Yeah, which I really think is just a bad deal.
Bad deal. Like, you think he shouldn't have gotten fired?
No, I do not think. I think Kyle Larson did nothing wrong. No, I do not.
Nothing wrong.
Nothing wrong. No, I do not.
I agree that I don't think he should have been
right now
fired.
because I'm very strong about that topic. So,
all right, let's move on because I just don't. I mean, if we're gonna,
there's many words that people use on a day-to-day basis, and nobody gets.
All right, Jay, I'm going to move on for the good of the twindom.
But I'm all for Kyle Larson. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, all right. Well,
I think NASCAR made a huge mistake. That's my personal
is,
opinion. There's many words.
Amber, I think you were a tweener on Jason because Jason actually thinks he shouldn't have lost his job.
He should not have lost his job.
And I feel like he should have lost his job, not because I have an African American baby. I feel like that word is loosely used. And I don't know that he should have lost his job for that, but for the simple ignorance of having $1 million sponsor that will not appreciate that word.
I mean, I don't think a lot of people. Okay, first of all, I think just that word in general is just a really dirty word. If we're being completely honest, but how's it different than a Polish person calling me you're a Pollock? I mean, it's the same thing, or a spick,
she's
or
got a point.
It's the same thing, right? But it's bad coming from a white person saying that. But I get it. But I think Kyle Larson did nothing wrong. I think NASCAR needs to probably rethink that. So no, continue.
Yeah. All right. Well,
Preach.
Continue. I'm just saying I could go. No, it's terrible.
No. So we did Amber on our show. We had an 11-year-old. His name's Travi, and he dropped the J word.
Okay. Yep.
And we suspended him.
Oh, you says, oh Jesus! Oh my goodness! That again.
Do you know what the J word is, Amber?
What?
Do you know what the J word is?
Jew.
I think you can say Jew. I think Jew's okay.
What?
I think Jew's okay.
Angela's gonna go. race NASCAR. Amber's coming into
I mean-
NASCAR, and Amber's going to ruin Angela's NASCAR career over this conversation.
So I think that we should
No.
skip the conversation.
Yeah, all right. So let's switch to something less negative and less polarizing. Did Kevin Harvick really call you a stripper on national TV?
Okay, and
I'd
why
like
are we
to
bringing
know.
up that from like 20 years ago? I feel like it's vintage, but yes, he did, and that's vintage. That's a vintage
No,
topic.
I'm just trying to
Well,
shift.
so look, if we're bringing this up, then I think we should talk about it, Amber, because you said you just walked away because of sponsorship, but the truth is there was a little party or a lot party that walked away from the sport after that comment.
I mean, well, keep in mind that was like what? How many years ago?
8.
Well, it was 9 years ago.
9 years ago. So
9
if that
years
was
ago.
today, he would have no job. He'd be in the same situation that Carl Larson is in, unfortunately.
Well, actually,
He'd be in the same position.
so wow,
It's no
actually,
different.
that we
Am I wrong?
went off on a tangent.
No.
Amber took us to places on the J word that I really didn't. I wasn't there, but I get
Wait,
it.
I don't know where your head was. But that's where
Well,
my
I
head
was thinking, sweetheart, I was thinking Japanese.
But
And
short, right? Like not the full.
I
Oh,
didn't-
okay. I mean,
and I have
Oh.
I have a lot of Jewish friends, and every
agree,
once
same.
in a while,
Yeah.
no, this is no lie, Jay. I've used
Oh, geez.
the J word. All right. And but I think, with Kevin Harvick, would you admit there was some part of you?
I feel like I'm in the hot seat
Well,
again.
you're on the hot seat. We'll get
That's
you
fine.
off the seat in a second.
Go ahead.
I guarantee this seat's not as hot as what you just did to your twin sister's racing career
She's fine.
5 minutes ago. So
Good.
did you feel like the Kevin Harvick comment in your mind at that time before the Me Too movement was offensive, or did you see it different today during the Me Too movement?
I mean, looking back at it now, if it was in this situation, it would be a huge issue. Yes. Back then, no, it was not.
It was
I
not
think times are.
for the-
I think times. What?
for the public, but it was offensive
Correct.
to you.
Correct.
Yes, yeah.
Correct. But I take nothing personal. I mean, the way I look at it, I'm a tough cookie, so I take nothing personal. And everyone's in the sport for a reason because we're all somewhat pretty fucking good. So it's very simple.
So we'll beep that out.
Beep.
And, I mean, Amber's breaking
Sorry.
a lot of the rules.
Well, this is my
the-
first. This is my first time in the hot seat.
Well,
So
no,
I'm
you're
good.
in the hot seat. You're on with the beautiful. I mean, I don't know if you
Look
can
at this
see
beautiful
that
view. Can you
behind.
see?
It's
I don't
gorgeous.
think you can see past this top hat of mine, but
Yeah. Well, one
think it's
thing.
myself.
I was on a Zoom call, and my Zoom had the stadium behind me, and there was a lot of people like, "Wow, that's really pretty, but can you turn it away?" And I'm like, "Why?" They're like, "It's an empty stadium. It's sending like it
Oh,
just
gosh.
feels negative." And I'm like, "Wow, I never even thought about
I mean, you
that."
can change all your scenes on Zoom because I know John. He's always
Oh.
changed his views on Zoom, and he's like, "Oh, should I do this?" I'm like, "Yeah, do this, do that."
so
So,
I
he's
can
like,
do,
"You can mix
like-
it up, baby. Mix
like
it up."
Teletubbies and
I mean, I wouldn't
flowers
go
and
that far, but
tulips
I
and-
would not do anything with that.
So,
but yeah.
so Amber, okay, so we spent. Oh wow, Angela, the double
Drive
zero.
it, sister.
She's racing, and there is no champagne there.
She changed too.
Yes. Oh, she changed into a yellow shirt.
She's getting cozy. She's ready to drive it like she stole it.
So, Amber, do you think that Angela has the skill to compete? Do you feel like there's any issue with equipment? I mean, what's your feelings with your twin sister? Do you root her on?
Oh yeah, of course I root her on. I mean, I think it's definitely hard to watch at times because it's so stressful. Because I feel like I know how she thinks, and I feel like I'm in the car, and it makes me panic if I'm not. You know what I mean? I think if you don't have full it's tough. But yes, I think Angela's very smart when it comes to driving. I think we both are. I think again, it comes with getting comfortable and just being prepared. I mean, in which we lack. I think we both, her especially. I mean, we don't have much seat time as what all these other drivers have, but practice makes perfect. Should be fine.
Who's your favorite driver?
Oh, really? Sister.
So is Angela truly
Absolutely.
your favorite
Sister.
driver?
A sister, I'm going to say Uncle Derek. I love Uncle Derek. He's not really driving much anymore. But
Yeah.
Uncle Derek is
I
nice.
got an Uncle
Tell the
Derek.
truth.
I got
Tell
an
the
Uncle
truth.
Derek.
Just saying.
I'm going on a podcast. Darren, his brothers probably listen. Sister's family. I got a Derek story for you.
Oh,
I'm
Gonna share
going to
Oh,
share
okay.
it because this is a personal story that most of NASCAR has not heard. Early when I met Angela, I was 40. Angela was 25, 26 years old. And she lived with her Uncle Derek. And
yes. So
you
funny.
remember? Yeah.
Yeah, old.
So
Yeah,
Angela lived with her Uncle Derek, the Daytona 500 winner, 1990. 2-time NASCAR winner in the Cup
Mm-hmm.
level and multiple wins at the lower levels. I mean, this is an accomplished man, right? And so we were working on sponsorships, and Derek wanted to work on it, and I'm like, well, this is my sponsor. And I kind of wrestled it from him, and he told me he was going to kick my ass.
I remember.
Did
That was
Did he really tell you that?
Martinsville, I think.
It was Martinsville, but my point being is this trend has followed me in NASCAR for years. Like all these NASCAR drivers want to kick my ass.
Did he really tell you he was going to kick your ass?
Never going on.
Nobody wants to kick your butt. No, nobody wants that. So I wouldn't know.
Did he really tell you he was going to kick your ass?
I just think that we were under a lot of pressure that day because that was me and Sis's first debut in NASCAR as twins, freshmen in NASCAR, and here Uncle Derek's telling you he wants to beat your butt. I'm like, we were on a lot of pressure.
Well, I mean, it started with Derek, and it moved to Harvick and Parker Klingerman and all these little NASCAR fellas. But it started with this really angry 50-year-old man that was Uncle Derek, and he wanted to kick my ass. And you know what was funny about it? And we'll close the show on this. I think he could. I mean, Derek was. I think he was a strappy little fellow.
Uncle Derek will absolutely beat your butt. If I'm not being completely honest, you should probably just run.
I'll be honest with you. I mean, Derek is. I don't know what Derek is today. He's close to 60 years old. This is the most beautiful man I've ever seen. So like,
Uncle Derek is very sexy. I always said that from the day we moved down here, 17 years ago. Uncle Derek is always sexy.
He's a beautiful man, and but I chose not to fight him because I didn't want to hurt him. I didn't want to break it up. I didn't want to do nothing. But so Jason, unfortunately, like the Get Rooked, we are not taped. So we are definitely
live from the penthouse.
And we're live from the penthouse with this beautiful view,
which is so pretty because I've never been this late.
Gorgeous. So Jason, is there anything you can say from the lawyers, from the accountants, from the producers that would help us get out of this and wrap this sumbitch up?
We should probably wrap this up at this point with the N word and the curse words. Our best bet's probably.
Oh, it wasn't the N word; it was the J word, if you recall.
Well, talking that the N word, feelings about it.
Yeah. So we apologize to the Jewish community, and we will get back to business. And we're going to go watch Angela kick these little fellas' asses in this IRacing.
And it's a win it, baby.
Heck yeah, Kansas, go get it, Ange.
Jace, good to see you, stranger.
Good seeing you. We'll see you guys soon.
Thanks, Debbie.